Fox 5 Live Zone. Well, a group of some 600 retired Israeli security officials, including former heads of intelligence agencies, have now written to President Trump to pressure Israel to immediately end the war in Gaza. Their appeal comes amid reports that the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is now pushing to expand military operations in Gaza as indirect ceasefire talks with Hamas have now stalled. Joining us now to discuss this and so much more is Mr. Harley Lippman, foreign policy expert, back here on the Live Zone. Harley, always good to see you, sir. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to see you as well.
Harley, more than, as you just heard me make mention, 60,000 people have now been killed as a result of Israel's military campaign in Gaza. Obviously, all of this starting on October 7th when Hamas invaded and yet again took so many lives and took so many hostages as well. The main group supporting hostages' families now condemn the idea of a new military offensive, saying the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is leading Israel and the hostages to doom. What say you, sir?
Well, I understand the hostage families. If I had an immediate member of my family that was being held as a hostage, I'm sure I would try to do everything possible to get the hostages released. And it's just so tragic for them. And what this all tells me is how brilliant the strategy of Hamas is and how much they're winning with this strategy. I mean, it's an evil genius. It's like on the scale of the Gestapo and the Nazis, you know, convincing Germans they should exterminate Jews and nearly getting away with it. It's the same thing here with Hamas. They've managed to get the whole world to turn on Israel, even Israeli citizens, even hostage families. And I think everybody's very frustrated with the war. And I think that I understand the arguments of Israeli former intelligence chiefs and tens of thousands of Israelis. It's a very tough situation. Israel's kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah.
But Bibi Netanyahu is holding on to the view of what makes wars really come to an end. And that is you ultimately defeat your enemy and they surrender. And that's how wars end. And however ugly it is along the way, this is a strategy that apparently he's going to pursue.
Harley, I sit in a studio thousands of miles away from where all of the chaos is unfolding. I have seen video and picture after picture of children in Gaza, in essence, as if they are starving and looking for food. And then on the flip side, we see this, and that is Mr. Evyatar David. He is now, or has been for quite some time, a hostage of Hamas, taken on October the 7th. And dear God, he is digging, in essence, his own grave. To see these images on both sides, Harley, and I should make mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you happen to be an associate of the family, it just pulls at the heartstring, no matter what side you sit, just from a humanitarian standpoint.
Right. You know, here, his mother has been in my home twice. And and his brother has been in my home as well. And he's speaking out now for him. Yes, it's really painful to see this. And the fact that Hamas showed this video of him emaciated, like someone out of Auschwitz, digging his own grave. Think of the levels of cruelty this is, that Hamas would let his family see this as her son is wasting away, who's innocent. This is not a Palestinian political prisoner who's murdered women and children in Israeli jails that they're looking to make an exchange with. This is a person who's innocent, his crime was enjoying a music festival. So Hamas released the film for two reasons. One is they want to get the families distressed. This is psychological warfare and torture. So the families get angry and vent on the Israeli government and say, you got to bring this person home, which is exactly what's happening. And they're also sending a signal that the world doesn't care about Israeli Jewish hostages. They don't care about Jews being held hostage. They only care about Palestinians that are starving. And we understand that we should care about Palestinians starving. But people who were taken nearly 2 years ago, who are completely innocent, are being deliberately tortured and starved. And nobody seems to speak out about that. Not even the Red Cross has insisted or been there to visit him. It's really tragic, and we can't forget him.
Yeah, it is truly tragic, and just yet again really pulls at the heartstrings when you see images like that. And I have to be fair, I would say images of children starving as well, Harley. We know that Hamas says
But I
it's
want
okay.
to say something, if I could jump in,
Oh,
may
please
I?
do.
I want to make a comment about that, children starving in Gaza, as if that means it's Israel's fault. And of course, this poor guy, Evyatar David, who's being held hostage, we see as Hamas's fault. So I know you don't intend to do that, but by saying it that way, it almost looks like a moral equivalent. I want to say that the fact that Palestinians are starving is because of Hamas. It's not because of Israel. Israel and the United States launched the Gaza Humanitarian Fund to get food to the people in Gaza. They've delivered over 10 million meals, and they're very efficient at distribution. The UN is not distributing food in Gaza, and they've even admitted that Hamas is stealing the food. We see the fighters are well fed. In the picture with Evyatar David, you see a Hamas person with his arm extended, and you see it's a big fleshy arm, meaning he's a well-fed man as he's looking at someone who he's starving. So the starvation in Gaza is intentional by Hamas, because the more Palestinians die, the more they're able to get support against Israel. That is their strategy. So they want Palestinians to die. They feel that if you die trying to kill the infidel who's occupying Muslim land is a good thing. So they want death and starvation, where Israel is trying to do everything to prevent it. So Israel's not creating the starvation. There is food going in, but the trucks are being hijacked by Hamas, and then they sell it at exorbitant prices to the poor Palestinians. This is where the evil is. Yet the world does not hold Hamas accountable. It's amazing. It really feels like Israel is committing this starvation and genocide. And it's just not true. I'm not saying it just because I want to defend Israel. If
Sure.
Israel is guilty, then they're guilty and we'd have to acknowledge it. But it's Hamas that's doing it, and they're completely getting away with it. And they've got the world to believe that Israel's doing it, committing genocide and starvation. And now the whole world is turning against Israel. It's an incredibly brilliant strategy of Hamas, and incredibly, incredibly sad and tragic.
Well, yet again, I am in no place to play Monday morning quarterback from thousands of miles away, but it just really pulls at the heartstrings from a humanitarian aspect that all of this continues to play out right before our very eyes. Of course, our prayers are with
It
the
does.
David family, as yet again he is a hostage and has been since October. We're now going on a year, Harley, that he has been held captive, and at last check, digging his own grave. It's truly
Almost,
upsetting.
almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
That
It's
is
from
correct. I
not
stand
last
corrected.
October, but October before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Harley Lippman joining us, foreign policy expert right here on the Live Zone. Truly appreciate your time and your commentary, Harley.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
You bet.